Hi everyone, thanks for joining on this video and welcome to my first video as well. My name is Dhruva Arya and I'm the first year MBA candidate at USC Marshall. So today's video is about, I would say, three people. One, who are in the phase of thinking about doing an MBA but are struggling with should I do it, should I not do it, how should I figure that out? Second, I would say you are in the application phase and you are struggling with essays or recommendations or resume or GMAT. And third one, I would say you have done with your application, you got your admit in your dream school, but now you're figuring out, okay, how do I think about my visa? How do I think about my stays and everything else? Because I know being an international student, you struggle with a lot of other things as well. So, but most of all this for the video who wants to dream big and he wants to get into their dream schools. So for that in mind, I have my first guest today, who is Raghav, who is a first year MBA candidate at USC Marshall. He's my classmate, he's my flatmate as well. So, hope you enjoyed this video and all the best for your journeys, guys. Hi Raghav.
Hi man, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good too. Enjoying your holidays?
Yeah, so just for the context, right now it's December and usually it's fall holidays for a lot of people, and we just finished our first semester. We are both first year MBA candidates at USC Marshall. And तो कैसा रहा अब तक का सफ़र? अगर मैं सिर्फ दो शब्दों में पूछूं, what would you like to say?
It was a roller coaster ride.
Roller coaster?
Yeah, it was emotional roller coaster for me, to be honest. Coming from a place wherein I was into a very close-knit family, starting a whole new life, wherein I have to do everything by myself. It was an emotional roller coaster for me.
Yeah, that's a fun for me as well. Like, I've been alone a lot of times, but being here was something else, I would say. Especially, I remember my first day. But we'll share that later. But let's start with how did you think of doing this? Why MBA?
Why MBA? Yeah, that is a big question.
Like, when was the first time you thought of doing an MBA?
So that was the time when I just graduated from my undergrad. So I am a BTech in mechanical engineering. So I don't know, at that point in time I was very confused what I want to do in my life. To be honest, it was not very confusing, but I had tried a different paths before coming here. To start with, I went into the mechanical engineering thinking that I'll do something big into the engineering side. Yeah. Then in my undergrad, I decided I wanted to start something of my own, but that didn't work out due to some financial or some other reasons. After that, I decided that why not do something that I came here for, and I started preparing for my GATE and my engineering services examination. Did that for a year. I was doing well, but I don't know, at certain point in time I felt like I won't be happy doing this for the rest of my life. Then I decided, no, I don't want to take this exam, even though now I sometimes think that I should have taken that exam. There was a possibility that I might have cracked that exam. Yeah. But everything happens for a good reason. Then I told my parents that I don't want to take this exam, even though I have prepared for it for a long period of time. I prepared for that for like a year and a half. I was not using any social media, nothing I was using for that time.
So you prepared, but you still didn't give the exam?
No, I didn't felt like taking that exam. It was like, even if I go into that job, I might not be able to do something that I love. So fair. I would be frustrated after some time, and that makes no sense for me to just go to a job. So for me to work somewhere, I need to be happy. So I was searching for that happiness. Time passed by. It was my final year in my undergrad when I decided that I don't want to take it. My dad told that, okay, what do you want to do? I said, I need some time. I need to figure it out. I usually try to deep dive into myself when I'm confused. I just cut off with the whole world and sit back and just think what I want to do. I sat there and I started thinking what else I can do and what will give me the happiness that I want in my life. So after like 3-4 days, I came out of my room. Not that I was just logged into the room, but I was not talking to anyone. I was just eating, sleeping, and that is what I was doing. So I came out of the room. I told my parents that, okay, I just want to pursue something in business because that is what will give me a kick. I'll have some new problems to solve every day. So he told me, why don't you take the CAT this year? I said, I'm not prepared. Moreover, I don't know what will happen in that. So he said, okay, just take the exam. So I was not prepared. I registered for the exam. In November, I took the exam. November end. The exam is in November end, I guess. It's in November end, right? It was 22nd or 23rd of November, if I am not wrong.
In 2021?
2019.
2019?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was 2019 because in 2019 I was supposed to take the ESC exam.
Okay.
So I didn't go for that exam. I went for the CAT. I was not prepared because I was just preparing for my engineering subjects. That was purely a different path altogether. But I went, took the exam. I scored 92.9 percentile.
Okay.
But it was not a good score. So I also took the NMAT. I was able to get into the NMIMS Mumbai campus. My dad told that if you want to do that, just go ahead. But I knew if I want to do something right now, I won't be going into some tier 2 colleges.
Let's come back a little. When you told 2019, that's when you finished your undergrad as well?
Yeah.
That's the same year you gave CAT?
Yeah.
And so you were planning engineering services as well as, then you stepped out of engineering services in 2019 and then you thought I'll give a CAT in 2019?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is, for the CAT, it was commenced in 2018, November 2018, but the classes were supposed to be started in like 2019.
Okay.
So it was that is what the journey was. But I never wanted to do that from the tier 2 college because I came from a tier 3 college and I knew that is what I did wrong in my undergrad. I should never have joined like a tier 3 college in my undergrad, and I think that was the reason for the biggest pushback in my career. So I told him, no, I'm not going to do this. Tier 2 college is not what I am aiming right now. Either I'll do it from the tier 1 colleges or I won't do MBA any day. So it's like, okay, take your time, figure out whatever you wanted to do. I knew that I had two offers in my undergrad, and I had to choose one. So at that point in time, I chose to go to Infosys. I had like 6 months of time. I worked in an NGO. I also worked in my family business. And that's a small story wherein my whole professional journey started. So MBA was decided before I went to any of the job. So yeah, I think I answered your question. When did I decide to join MBA?
Okay, that's where you first time decided. But you told me that this is 2019, right? And after that you worked in Infosys. Then what made you decide, okay, now I want to go to the US or I wanted to go to the top B school in the world, and coming from the tier 3 college as well, right? So what made you realize after tier 3, okay, now I want to be in top schools? What do you think the major difference that time you felt, that what more you could learn there which you didn't learn maybe in tier 3 college?
To be honest, I never aimed to come to US. It was all like,
oh wow,
it went with the I went with the journey, and my path brought me to US. I never thought of coming to US any day because I am a very Indian and I love my country. So I think I am born and brought up in a army family. So I have a different level of attachment with my country.
Okay.
I never wanted to come to US any day. So this is what I probably tell everyone here in US too. So I wanted to do something in IIMs, but I started with the journey, but I was not able to study because of different reasons. I think one of my friend Himanshu, he is one of the reason why I am here.
Okay.
He pushed me a lot of times. Okay, why not we take the GMAT? Why not we take the GMAT, bro? Why aren't you studying? Let's do something. So the first time when I decided to study for MBA, that was time in 2019. It was June when my degree, when I completed my undergrad, and I had like 6 months, as I told you. I was also working on NGO and my family business. At the same time, I decided, okay, why not take some time out and study for different subjects that are required in MBA. So I started with GMAT. I don't know why.
But why not CAT?
I thought that if I want to go join IIM, I'll do that after a couple of years because I wanted to work before joining any MBA. And for writing CAT, the validity is only 1 year, right? If you write CAT this year, you can take admission this year. But in the back of my mind, I had a thought that, okay, if I write GMAT today, I'll have 5 years. Even if anything doesn't work, if I have a good score, I can apply to ISB any day, study there for a year, and I'll be okay. I
think IIM's 1 year program also gives you that opportunity to apply with the GMAT.
I never wanted to do that.
Okay. So
I was very clear. If I want to pursue anything from IIM, I'll take it for 2 years. Else I'll go to ISB. So that was my aim back then.
So your first aim was IIM and then ISB?
Yeah.
Okay.
IIM for 2 years or ISB for 1 year.
Okay.
So that is how my journey started. So during that time, I was not very serious about it. I won't say I wasn't serious about it. I think that was not the right time for me. I was busy in my family business, and I was also busy in working at NGO, and I think that was giving me some sort of happiness and some sort of kick. So that is what refrained me from doing that, preparing for GMAT. 6 months passed by. I had to join Infosys. I went to Infosys campus, worked there for like 2 months, and then COVID came up.
Oh yeah, 2020.
Then I had to come back. I came back home, and I was having a conversation with my parents every day, like, why aren't you preparing for what you wanted to do in your life? I don't think you'll be happy doing this job. Yeah, they were right, but I was in a very initial stage of my career, and I was able to look into what Infosys was giving me. Like, the exposure that that Infosys gave me was really different. I was working with different VPs, different heads of the departments and of my clients. So it was really a great time for me to learn at that time.
If you could share a bit, like, what exactly you worked in Infosys?
So I was working on a digital transformation project. For those who don't know, like,
plain English, no computer science language here.
No, it is just a consulting language. So it was more of a consulting project wherein we were helping client to formulate a strategy to move their servers onto the cloud. At the same time, we were also taking care of all the infrastructure that they had.
Okay.
So it was purely a client-facing role, and I was loving that role because I had a new thing to learn every day. I am more of a people's person.
Okay.
So I had to talk to a lot of people. I had to, even though I was a very new member into the IT industry, and I was the youngest in my team. So, but I had some chances to lead the team, to tell my ideas how we can do that in an easier way than it can be traditionally done. So I think that I was loving that. So
you were seeing your impact happening inside the firm.
Yeah, I was able to see my impact. So I think that is what kept me there for 2 years without thinking about what I want to do. Like, I won't say 2 years, 1 year, without thinking about what I want to do next. Because in the very first year, we were just starting with the project, and everything was to be built from scratch. So I was devoting a lot of time there, like 15 hours a day. Sometimes it was 15 hours a day. Because
15 hours?
Yeah. We were working in all the different 3 regions, America, Europe, and Asia Pacific. So, like, we had 3 different shifts. So I have also worked for 15 hours a day.
Oh.
So it was great time, learned a lot. But again, after 1 year, my parents were again asking, like, okay, what next?
Okay, so parents are pushing you again and again.
No, they were asking. They were not pushing. They were like, I usually have a one-on-one with my dad, like, after a few months, wherein I discuss, okay, this is what I've learned. And he asked me, okay, what do you want to do next? So, like, I think that's a great way to brainstorm what exactly you want to do, because his experience is very important. He has seen a lot of world, and for me, telling him each and everything as a friend, it helps me find a vision what I want to do in my own life.
True.
So, and at the same time, I don't know, like, whether it was my luck or something, Himanshu showed up again. Like, yeah, what are you doing, bro? Why don't we take GMAT? I said, yeah, it's a great idea. So we wanted to do it. Let's do it together. So we started studying. I was able to give only an hour.
This is in which year? 2022?
It was 2021.
2021.
2021. Somewhere in May.
So it's been 1.5 years since you are working with Infosys.
It was 1.5 years since I was working with Infosys.
Okay.
So that time was very tough for me. So because I was getting frustrated with the job at Infosys because there was nothing new to learn at that time. So I wanted to move out. At the same time, I was thinking to do an MBA, take the GMAT and figure out where I want to go. So it was not frustrating, to be honest. I was feeling like I am not doing something new that can excite me to do something, like that can excite me to open up the laptop and do work every day. So I started preparing for the GMAT. I was able to give an hour every day. Worked on the GMAT for like 3 months, and I took the GMAT in December.
Oh, just in 3 months?
No, I started in May. It was a very on and off kind of situation. One day I was working. The second day I was thinking to study, third day I studied, and again that repeated again. So I finally decided to book my exam in September. I thought, okay, now if I'll book the exam, anyhow I'll have to study.
And this was like in May itself?
No. In September I booked the exam.
Oh, in September?
May to September I was struggling to, okay, let's study.
But in September you booked the exam for which date?
December.
Oh, December, okay.
December. It was 27th or 28th of December, which I took the exam.
Just close to the New Year's.
Yeah.
Oh, today is 28th,
Yeah, it's 27th.
27th.
I think it was 27th or 28th. I'm not sure. Like, I
Okay.
need to check. So I decided, okay, I'll book the exam and then I'll see whatever it takes. After a few days, I resigned from Infosys.
You just resigned.
I resigned from Infosys because we had a 3 months of notice period that we had to serve.
Okay.
So I resigned. Okay, let's see where it goes. It was very uncertain.
In September, you resigned and you also signed up for GMAT.
Yeah. It was September or October. I think it was October. No, I resigned in November.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I resigned in November. In November, I resigned. I was so done with that job because there was nothing new to learn now. Everything was very stable. I was not able to bring up something new there. And moreover, I wanted to learn more about the cloud because that is what I was working on. So I resigned. It was the most uncertain time of my life. That is what I was thinking back then. But now the story is different. So November I resigned, and I was preparing for the GMAT at the same time. So I used to get calls from a manager daily. So why have you resigned? Okay, if you got a salary hike, let us know, and we'll match the offer. But I didn't have any offer at that point in time. So I started searching for the job at the same time. What if GMAT doesn't work? I was searching for a job and I was studying for the GMAT.
But after September, you started rigorously studying for the GMAT?
Not rigorously, man. Like I to be honest, when I took the first mock for the GMAT, my quant was good. I won't lie. So I scored 50 on 51 without any studies in quant.
For the first time?
For the first time when I took the
Incredible.
mock. But my verbal score was really bad.
Okay.
When I analyzed the whole...
I think that's where every Indian struggles.
I think so.
Mostly, I would say.
Mostly. When I analyzed the whole exam that I took, I realized that out of 9, I was able to do 7 or 8 sentence correction right. For the critical thinking, I was able to do, again, 8 on 9. But when I went to the reading comprehension, everything was wrong. So I think that was pulling back the score. So I knew that when I was reading the comprehensions, I was zoned out every time. So that was my pain point. So I needed some time to study that. Rest everything was fine. So I studied, I practiced reading during that time. That is what I did. And I think that worked out for me and I really had a good score. So in December, I got the score and I resigned from Infosys. I got a new job too. I got a job of a cloud engineering. That is what I wanted.
Exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, exactly what I wanted. In Ultimate Kronos Group. I was free at that time. I was very like, okay, now I have to do an MBA. The only thing I have to figure out is where I have to do it from.
Okay, so this is 2021.
2021 ending.
2021 end, and you have given your GMAT. If you don't mind sharing, what was your score?
780.
780. Okay, so you had a pretty phenomenal score. So you had that score in mind, and then why didn't you apply just like in 2020? Okay, you applied in 2022, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but you had still two, like I think second round and third round are still left to apply, and you already had a score. So what made you realize, okay, I have to still wait for a year to apply, and why didn't you apply back then? Because you already had a great score.
There were 2 reasons. One was I always wanted to work for 3 years before going into an MBA.
That's what something was in your mind, or just because you have seen?
That is what I've read, that okay, at least you should have worked for 3 years. Moreover, I knew like the 2 years that, the importance of those 2 years in building the character that I have today. Like that time was really important for me. I wanted 1 more year of experience because now I jumped from a service-based company to a product-based company.
Okay.
And my first project was very consulting focused, and second one that I was going into was a very product focused. So I wanted to work into the product industry first and then jump into an MBA to have a better understanding what I want to do in my whole life.
Okay, fair.
I was confused at that time what I wanted to do in my life, because consulting is what I liked, but product was something that fascinated me, but I didn't knew whether I would be able to do that for the rest of my life or not.
Fair.
So I wanted to work there first and then think of what why I want to do an MBA. I knew that I wanted to do an MBA to progress in my life, but in which field I want to progress, that I think the second job gave me clarity about it.
Okay. So now you have given your GMAT, and I think it's 2021. You have worked in UKG for 6, 7, 8 months.
Yeah, 6 months.
6 months.
That's a funny story, man. I went there. So in UKG, what they do is they don't pressurize you to do anything. So first 3 months are very chill. You just go get used to everything, their environment and everything. You talk to your managers. You ask them, okay, how to proceed. And I was one of the person who used to go up to the manager and say, like, okay, I feel like I'm doing nothing. How can I proceed? So she used to say, okay, do this training, do that. She was very supportive. I think she also played a big role in my life for pushing me to come here.
Okay.
Because I remember it was May 2022 when I asked for my first letter of recommendation, and I joined company in February. Like, it was 3 months.
3 months. Okay.
And she was like, "Why are you here? Like, if you knew you had to do an MBA, why did you join?" So I was like, no. She was just asking. She was not complaining about it. She was just asking about it. So I told her that okay, it is a very uncertain decision, to be honest. You don't know whether you will be able to land into a good B school or not. And for me, wasting that whole span of time, like 6 months or 8 months or 12 months, because the session starts in July, right? For Marshall, it starts in July, and for other B schools, it starts in August. So I resigned from Infosys, and my last working day in Infosys was February. So from February to next August, it was 1 year and 6 months, right? So I never wanted to waste that, and I told her clearly that I didn't want to waste that. So that is why I joined here. And even if I have to leave this company, I'll be leaving after 1 year and 3 months. And she said, okay, that makes more sense. And she helped me a lot when it came to, help me with my essays. Like, it was not like she was helping me to write the essays. She was just encouraging me.
My first question is, so you think being true to your boss or your manager while you're working and you want to go for an MBA, does that work, or you prefer to hide it from your boss and just play it silently? What would you suggest?
To be honest, I won't hide it from my manager, because they'll if he
eventually they'll know.
Yeah, eventually they have to know, because they have to write you a letter of recommendation. Or even not the letter of recommendation, they have to release you from the team. So why leave a team in a very bad position if you can avoid that? That is what I think. If you want to just leave a team, leave it on a good note, right? Like, why do you want to say that, okay, I'm leaving on a very random day, and just tell that, okay, everything is done, I am going, tata, bye bye. That is not who I am. So I told her from the day one that, okay, I have to leave, and she was really supportive and she helped me a lot. Okay. So we were talking about why did I join UKG, right? So I wanted to...
you told me that you wanted to join a product firm, so that's fine. Okay, now your journey started to apply for MBA. Okay, let's go through that, because I know, because we are on the same path there. But how did you work on your essays? How did you work on your LORs? You have given your GMAT, so that is fine. So I think the biggest part of the MBA journey is now essays, from selecting schools to writing essays to reviewing them to if you want to give TOEFL or IELTS or some English proficiency, did you do that or not? Let's go through that journey now.
Okay, so when I took the GMAT, it was like, okay, this is the scores that I was not expecting. I was expecting somewhere around 720, 730. So I got 780, and I was like, okay, if I've got 780, why not I try to go into some school which is ranked higher up than ISB? Why only ISB now? For a fact, I knew that it was very tough for me to get into HSW, for a reason that I come from a tier 3 college, and at the same time I don't have anything very exceptional in my profile, because most of the Indians are engineering males, right? So there's nothing exceptional in my profile.
But I think getting into T15 also, it's exceptional, I would say. But
yeah, to be honest, I think it is exceptional, because
from tier 3 I know how tough is it, because I come from tier 3 as well. But let's just see your story right now.
Yeah. So at that point in time, I tried to figure out where all I can apply. So I came out with a list of a few B schools I wanted to apply. It was Duke, Marshall, then it was Vanderbilt, then it was Notre Dame, Indiana, and ISB, and Ross. So these were the 6 schools I applied to.
But what made you choose these 6 schools?
I was just reading, okay, where are good chances of me landing into the school. There were 2 schools which were dream schools. One was Duke, and other one was Ross.
Ross
was a dream school, but I never wanted to go there because the weather is very cold. I know this sounds very vague to a lot of people because
No, I think weather should be there to make a decision.
Yeah, for me it is a big decision.
Yeah, so you should think about, so what factors you chose to make the decision for your B schools list?
So it was like wherever I'll go, like in the T15 or T20 or T30, even if I go into T30, I'll grow a lot because I come from a undergrad wherein they don't value what exactly you are studying.
Okay, we didn't discuss about what is your undergrad university till now and what was your GPA there.
Okay, so I was studying in Punjab University, Patiala.
Okay.
So it is a state-owned university.
Okay.
Only state-owned university of Punjab. So I was, as I told, I was a mechanical engineer, and then I transitioned into IT. That's a different story. I think mechanical engineering is in that university, people don't take it very seriously.
Okay, fair.
But when it comes to marking of the exams, it's really tough there. So the topper of my mechanical engineering has scored like 7.6 GPA, I guess, if I'm not wrong.
That's all?
Yeah, it's between 7.6 to 8. But I was able to score like 7.2. I think that.
Okay, so you were very close enough, but according to you, because according to your university, but that's not works in the US, I feel they will feel like, okay, your GPA is low, so you have to fight that as well. You have to fight tier 3 university as well. Okay, now let's go to the application part.
Yeah, that was the biggest factor that made me choose all these schools over HSW, because if I had like a GPA of say 9 point something, I would have applied to HSW.
But did you talk to any consultants? Or
I did. I won't lie. I talked to a lot of consultants.
Okay.
I was just talking to them, okay, trying to figure out what I can do. There were a few consultants, they were saying, okay, HSW, you scored 780, HSW is like, okay, we can get you HSW. But I knew, like, it's not like a cakewalk. You just don't go there, show them 780 and you get like a place in that university. It doesn't work like that. So I was like, I knew that they were just bullshitting. Where like, okay, we can get you there. I came across a couple of consultants who were very genuine, and they told that, okay, your profile is good. Like, if I talk about your profile, we need to enhance that. You need to show what exactly you made a difference. Not enhance in the terms of writing not
fake writing, but not actually tell what you did.
What exactly.
And how did it impact
Yeah.
it. Okay.
So they told me, okay, why don't you think what difference you made there? And I think that was one of the best advice from one of the consultants.
Okay.
And he told me, okay, think what you want to do. Either you want to do consulting, product management, and then think of which school you want to apply to. So I think that was another big factor that helped me choose the different colleges that I wanted to apply
to.
Okay. I think when I talked to consultants, it was very clear that, okay, I will talk to one consultant and I'll do whatever I want, not whatever he'll tell me.
Okay. But you'll listen.
Yeah, I'll listen. I'll pick the things that I like, not what I won't blindly trust everything he's telling.
Fair.
So I was working with that guy. I worked for like 4 applications with him.
4?
Yeah.
Okay. And okay.
He told me, he just when I used to send him my resume, he used to say, okay, this is fine. Like, you have written this. Can you change it into a star format or something like that? That is what he told me.
That's all?
Yeah, that's all. But I think he played a big role in helping me figure out what I did. Because when someone says that, okay, write it in a star format, you think what have you done, and that is when you start jotting out the things that you have done. So he once said, okay, why don't you write this? I was like, no, I don't want to write this because this is what I've never done in my life. If I'll write that, how will I justify that? I won't be able to.
You're not genuine to yourself.
Yeah. It was like, okay, I can't do that. That is against my ethics and all my.
Okay.
So I didn't do that. So I worked on my applications. That was a turning point in my life. I think I was thinking, okay, what next, and that gave me a long-term goal of my life too. We can talk about it later. So yeah, the journey was great. I worked with one consultant, as I told you.
How did you find that consultant?
It was through friends of friends.
Friends of friends, okay.
Yeah.
And so you trusted that guy already?
No.
No? Okay, no, that's fair.
I didn't. I after talking to him, I talked to like a couple of more. As I told you, I talked to a lot of people. But after talking to him, I talked to a couple of more people. And then I thought that, okay, this person might work because he'll give me the advice, and I'll do whatever I want, not whatever he'll tell me.
But advice was giving a lot of people, a lot of other consultants as well. What made you choose this specific consultant?
I don't know, man. He was very on point kind of person. Even if I used to call him, oh, hey man, how you doing? He was like, Hanji, bolo.
So he was very connected to you. Like you got well connected with him as
he was like he was very professional.
Okay.
He was very professional. He was only about his work, nothing else. I think I like that sometimes.
Okay.
So that was a big reason for me to choose him.
So you started with resume first with him?
Yeah. No, I started writing what I've done in my life.
Okay, that's where you started?
Yeah.
Okay.
I started with that.
Okay.
I think that helped me a lot. I started with what I've done, what are my achievements and everything, and then I started working on my resume.
Okay. So then the first thing you worked on your resume?
Yeah.
How much time do you think you put on your resume writing?
It took me a lot of time for the first time.
What is a lot?
It took me a month to work on my resume.
A month?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the iterations and everything, it took me a month because I've always worked, but I've never quantified what I've done.
What was the timeline you started? For example, this resume thing.
I started in May.
And you have to apply.
No, not in May, April.
And you have to apply in August.
So I started in May. Yeah, I started in May.
So you think May is the fair point to start?
I think so.
For the first round?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you know your stories, if you know what have you done, I think May is the right time.
But did you know already till?
Yeah, when I jotted down what I've done in my life, then I.
And you did that in May itself?
I was doing that since April.
So you were speaking to consultants since April?
I was speaking to consultants since February.
Since February? Yeah. Okay, since February you were speaking, and then you jot down by April whatever you have done. And by May you started actually working on applications.
On resume.
On resume, okay.
I was in May. I started working on the list list of the school that I wanted to apply to.
Okay.
And on my resume. That is what I started. So.
And after that, how did this go? Then you started working on essays by.
Then I figured out the schools, and after figuring out the schools, I was just opening the applications, looking at the essays that they have, and started writing that.
Okay.
So I think the very first essay that I wrote, that was the most difficult one to write, because at that point in time you think which one to write and what to leave, what to write and what to leave. So ISB was my first application.
Okay. Oh, you still applied to ISB?
I still applied to ISB. I was still like, okay, why not to take ISB,
as a backup?
Stay in India.
Was that a backup or was that a first option?
For me, it was like, okay, why not still stay in India? I'll be close to my family. I need not leave all the luxury that I have, and I can still get things done by paying $100 a month, and everything would be so fairy tale like, right? The life is very easy. I started with that. Unfortunately, ISB didn't work out for me, and I think that was the turning point in my life. I was like, okay, now I have to do something. How did they reject me? And
so that's where the ego came in, and I was like, now I need to get into better school.
I think so. I think so. So I was applying to the Duke. I was talking to a person in Duke. I'm still in touch with him. So he changed a lot of perspective of mine. So at that point in time, I realized what exactly is the difference between a person who has done an MBA from India and done an MBA from the US.
Okay.
There was a lot of difference when I was talking to them. So I think that is when I was sure that I want to go to US.
So you started reaching out people on LinkedIn as well through different schools. Okay. So you did that. You understood how the curriculum is, how people are. So then you thought, okay, I think now I need to aim better schools.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is when I decided, okay, why not take MBA in US? I know the life would be tough for me and my family for like 2 or 3 years down the line, but at the end of the day, it would result in something.
It would be worth it.
Yeah, it would be worth it. So I started applying. The first interview that I had was of Duke. Even before ISB, I took the Duke interview.
Before ISB interview?
Yeah.
Okay.
I interviewed for the Duke.
Okay.
When I interviewed for the Duke, it was the early round for Duke. Even before the round 1, they have an early round.
Okay, they have early. What does that mean?
So for the early round, if you are sure that you want to go into the Duke, you apply. They before the closing of the round 1, you get your interview and you get your decision. I think after the round 1 closes. I'm not sure about the timeline.
I think the interview is for everyone, right? Everyone gets an interview. Whoever applied for the
no, it's not the case.
It's not that. It's not that in early round. Okay.
No. So early round, I got an interview invite, and that interview went for 1.5 1.5 hours. It was
1.5
supposed to be, yeah, it was supposed to be 20 minutes, but it went for 1.5 hours.
Okay.
I think that was a really tough interview. I was, to be honest, I was a bit scared about that interview. And I was like, okay, I want to get into this, because it was one of my dream schools at that point in time. So it didn't work out for me. Then ISB didn't work out for me. Then Ross waitlisted me.
Okay.
It was like everything was going in the opposite direction. Then I applied to Notre Dame and Marshall and Vanderbilt. I have not submitted the application by that time. So I was thinking, okay, Vanderbilt I'll do in round 2 if nothing works out for me. So I interviewed with Notre Dame. I got an offer with a scholarship, better than the scholarship at Marshall.
Okay.
Then I was waiting for my Marshall's result. And as far as
There's so many helicopters there.
yeah, this is city of helicopters, man.
Okay.
So I was waiting for the Marshall's result. I went to the GMAT club and all the other different sites, and people were receiving offers, and I was becoming anxious. Oh, why I'm not receiving anything? And I decided to email USC about my decision. And when I emailed them, I emailed the person who took my interview. I got a automatic reply that they are out of office because of the holidays. So, like, I know, like, the last day for the result for the interview was 31st of January. People were enjoying that night, and I was just stressed about, okay, why isn't it coming out right now? So,
but you already had one offer, so you must be a little off worried. Like, you're like, okay, at least I have one offer.
But Marshall was
your top choice as well?
Yeah, it was on a higher priority than Indiana.
Okay.
So I was waiting for that offer. So on 4th, when they came back from it was 4th or 5th, I don't exactly remember, but on the similar dates, when they came back from the holidays, I received an email that we need your transcripts.
Okay.
Send us your transcripts. I sent them at the same point in time. It was like 2 a.m. in the morning. I sent them the transcripts. On the next day, at around 2, I got a call from an international number. I was about to sleep. I picked it up and I said, "Hey, I am talking to Raghav." Yeah, I said, "Yeah." So they said, "We are happy to inform you that you got into USC Marshall School of Business," and they told me about the scholarship too.
Let's wait. Like, this is the good moment. Let this.
I think there's something wrong nearby.
Yeah. Okay. So you got a call.
I got a call and they told me, okay, you have been admitted to the school, and this is your scholarship. I was like more than happy. Everyone in my home was sleeping. I was just like, I got off my bed. I opened my parents' room and I was like, "Utho, मेरे को offer आ गया," and they were like very happy. So
I wish I could have got a call, man. I got an email.
I got a call
at like 11:45 p.m. I just saw the email. But I wish I could have got a call.
No, I got a call and they were like, okay. So I was very happy at that point in time, and that is when I finalized, okay, I don't want to go to Indiana now. I rejected Indiana.
Okay.
And I had USC, and I didn't apply to Vanderbilt after that. So this was my journey.
But also, like, during application, we missed few points. One, did you give any English or the English proficiency test?
I was planning to take any English proficiency test, IELTS or TOEFL, depending upon what requirements were. But when I was researching about those, like different schools, it was written that if your degree is in English, you need not take any of you are waived off from proficiency tests.
Degree is in English. It should be written medium of instruction.
Medium of instruction is in English.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, it's fine. Only UCLA asked for the TOEFL score, and I didn't apply to UCLA. I'm not doing that for one school.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Even I did that. So they are on the same page. So I was like,
okay, I'm not doing it.
Okay, so we did resumes, essays. Okay, tell me about LORs. How difficult was LOR? Who all gave your LORs as well?
So my everyone I talked to, like my first manager, my first TL, they were ready to write my LORs. My second manager, she was also ready to write my LOR. So I think writing LOR was not getting LOR was not difficult for me.
Okay.
It was more about the relationship that I had with them. They were always supportive, and they were like, okay, we'll write an LOR for you. So it was easy.
So that worked out very well for you. And who do you think usually people should take for LOAs?
I think your manager can give the best feedback about what you have done in your past projects, until or unless he has something very personal with you. So I think you should talk to your managers, because they have seen you growing from the day one you entered into a project till the last day you have worked in that project. So they can write better about you rather than anyone else can.
Okay, also just last part on this before MBA thing, like when you prepared for GMAT, what do you think if you want to give 1 or 2 advices for the people who are about to give GMAT?
I think the very first thing that you should do is you need to take a mock test, wherein you can figure out what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. For me, like मेरे लिए जो सबसे important चीज़ होती है, you should have a guru in your life.
Okay.
Guru means a teacher, right? So you should have a teacher in your life. So if you think you are not able to analyze the test, ask for help or call someone who you can think that he or she can guide you for that. So once you know your strengths, once you know your weakness, you can work on your weakness more than your strengths. So that will, I think, help you boost your score rather than anything else.
Okay, cool. So now you have got an admit. It's, I think by January 4th you told me you got an admit. Okay, now you have gotten your B school admit from tier 3 university from India, which is incredible. Now after that, what did you do? Because it's not like you have just gotten a bit. You have to take care of the housing, you have to take care of the flights, you have to see when to leave for visa process. So let's go through that procedure as well. What did you do first thing after what you got in that?
So the very first thing I did was I went back to the GMAT club. There was a group of USC admitted students.
Okay.
I joined that. So I started reaching out to the people. I reached out to you on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
So I searched on the LinkedIn like, okay, who got from USC? I reached out to you. We met in Delhi, and we were also talking on the group that we had, right? USC admits one. So we formed a small group. We started searching for the housing. I started reaching out to the second years that I have right now. So I was asking them where to live, where not to live, what we should take care of before thinking about living in a particular place. Because I know LA is a very notorious place, right? Once you, like, when you come to downtown, people say welcome to the hood. So there's a reason for that.
Yeah, something new which we learned here.
Yeah, city of helicopters. So I started asking them, okay, what should I do? Where should I live? What factors should I consider before finding a housing and all that stuff? They gave me a list of places where I should live and a long list of places I shouldn't live. So they also told me about different websites where I can search for the housing. So I shared the information with a group of people that I was searching for a house with. So we together started searching for different houses on different websites. We used to come up with a list of 5-6 recommendations each every week. And we used to talk to the property managers and everyone. And I think we started that in January and we were able to fix the house in May end. So it was a long process because it was very uncertain. There are a lot of frauds on internet and everything. We were scared about that too. So it took us a long period of time.
I think for the context, I should tell you guys, we both live together. We live with 4, like total we are 5 of us. So 5 of us made a group on WhatsApp and we started searching for the house together. Our aim was to have personal room and personal bathroom. This was the major aim, to have each. So we need 5-bedroom house with 5 bathrooms. So that was tough in LA. Plus, we have a certain zone near USC where you should find the house, which is recommendable.
Yeah.
So we started researching on that. That's where it took time. And we send out every day, like he told, 5 recommendation of houses. And then we used to discuss on each other. So I remember like first few calls which we had was like incredible awkward for each other. And then I was like, guys, say something at least. Let's talk, get to know each other. But then in the end it was like, we are going to stay together. So anyway, we'll get to know each other. So we ignored that. So that will happen as well. So, okay.
So yeah, talking about the zone that he was talking about, like that is called the DPS zone. So they're in USC.
I think something is happening.
Yeah, something is happening.
DPS zone.
The cops are here.
Yeah.
The LAPD went there. So something is wrong. So yeah, that is called a DPS zone. So USC has their own security in that zone, and you get a free lift. So considering all those factors, it was tough to find a house. So we were talking to different people like Amanda and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So you finally figured out the housing. So apart from the housing, I was also worried about I have to go into the new culture. I have to figure out everything, how it works and all it takes. So I was talking to different people, how their life was in an MBA. And I was trying to make my mind up, because I knew I've never done anything by my own at my house. Never cleaned my room, never did laundry. So I have to do that in US. So I started changing my lifestyle a bit. I know it was very tough for me for the 5-6 months, because not 5-6 months, 2-3 months, wherein I had to go push myself out of my chair or my bed. Okay, do this, do that. But I never did laundry back in India, never cooked in India. So these two things I did first time when I came here in US.
Okay. So you figured out housing. Then what about visa? What do you think?
Visa was really tough, man. It was so uncertain. Like every day I had the nightmares that, okay, what if I get rejected? So I still remember getting a slot was a difficult thing. Getting a slot was really difficult thing. So you saw 2-3 slots. Someone saw 2-3.
I think I remember. I was telling in the group, because I use that Google Chrome extension called Check Visa Slot something. And first I booked it very early.
You booked it early.
And then I told everyone that, okay, slots are open, guys, just go and book it. So
yeah, I got in a bulk openings.
Okay.
Yeah. It was, I think, somewhere in my visa interview was in May, right?
Yeah, May or April, something like that.
We came here in July, right? So my visa slot was in June.
Okay.
June. So I got in May bulk opening. I got a visa slot then, and I went for the visa interview. It was a stressful day, to be honest. Like, it was early in the morning. It was stressful 3 days. So I went to Chennai for my biometrics.
Okay, for biometrics you went to Chennai.
I went to Chennai.
Okay, when I went to Chennai for biometrics, yeah.
And then I came back to Delhi. And on the third day, from, like, if my biometrics were on Friday, no, it was on Monday.
Okay.
So my visa interview was on Wednesday.
So it's usually within 2 to 3 days.
Within 2 to 3 days. So I came back to Delhi. I had one rest day, and on Wednesday I had to go for my visa interview. Like, visa interview is really good experience, to be honest. Like, you find different people. You go out there, and there are a lot of MS students, and they are talking about, okay, I'm going to this university, I'm going to this university, and I didn't find any of the MBA student right there.
You didn't?
No, I didn't find any MBA student there.
Okay.
And I was also talking to people, and they were telling me, okay, I'm doing MS from this university, from that university, and they asked me, okay, where are you? What are your plans? So I said, I am going for an MBA. Oh, that's great. Like, they were like, that's great. From which university? I said, USC. Oh, nice. You're going to LA. I'm going to LA. So I met a person there, and he was like, okay, this is my second time for visa appointment, and I don't know how it will go. I was like, okay, bro, like, you got rejected for the first time and you're again here. And he was right in front of me in the line. I saw him going to one counter, and he got rejected.
Again?
Yeah, he got rejected again. And I was shit scared. Bro, I was shit scared. Like, what if I get rejected today? So, because I was on the notice period during that time.
I remember that feeling as well.
Yeah. So I had nothing in my hand, and what if I get rejected? So I went for the visa interview. And she asked only my interviewer, she asked only one question or a couple of questions for the people who were standing in front of me. And for me, it again went for like 5-6 questions. I don't know why. It started like, okay, tell me about yourself. What your parents do? How will you fund your MBA? Why do you want to pursue MBA? Why USC? Like, bro, this isn't USC's interview. But it went on like that, and she kept my passport, and I was like, thank you so much, you made my day, and I just left. I was so happy. At the same time, I was feeling like, okay, now I have to leave India. That was a mixed emotion. At first, in the very first place, I was very happy, and in the second, like, it was like, okay, now I have to leave, man. What? I have to leave everything and go. But it was fine. I went home. I went to the office that day after my visa interview. So I went to the office late. I told my colleagues. I never told any of my colleagues, but my manager knew that I was.
Only your manager?
Only my manager and manager's manager knew that I was leaving, because they were supposed to know that. So I told them, we had a party that day. Okay, visa is approved. Everything is done. Now I'll have to get the stamp. So that was a journey. After 5 days, I got a message that your passport has been stamped. You can come and pick it up. We have two options, right? Either we can go and pick it up, or they deliver it to our address. I opted for I wanted to pick it up.
Okay.
So I picked it up. and I came back. I kept the passport in, and now I realized, okay, now I have to shop, pack my stuffs, and leave. So that was a tough time, to be honest.
Then you figured out your housing, you figured out your visa. What do you think next you figured out?
I figured out, okay. After that, I was not able to figure out anything, to be honest. It was a busy time, a very busy time in my life. I was shopping, I was meeting people whom I wanted to meet before going. I have a big family, so I had to meet everyone. So I was meeting them. I was thinking what I have to do in my life. So I think time flew away. Like, I didn't even realize that it was a month, and the time flew away.
Yeah. So now, and you figured out flight as well, right? Flight.
Yeah, we were figuring the flights together.
Because flight is also one
it's a big thing.
part to come to US. It's too far.
I think that we figured that out before even getting our visa approved. So, as I was telling you, we were in the GMAT club group, right? So we all were talking, okay, which flight we should book. We were trying out different websites where we can find the cheapest flight. So everyone came with a consensus that, okay, let's book Singapore Airlines. We were getting a ticket for like 60,000 rupees. So
obviously,
it was very cheap. So we booked that up. So it was the
flight was fine.
The flight was fine. Figuring out a flight was not a tough thing for us. I think visa was the most it was most how to put it up. I think it was a stress. It was more of a stress than just going with the flow. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, so now you have done everything. Now you remember the day you left India.
It was tough.
Tell me about that.
It was tough. Till the last day, I was very strong that, okay, nothing will happen. I'm just leaving. So what? I'll come back. On the last night, I was about to break.
Yeah.
My dad was very low. I've never seen him that low. He was like, okay, now you have to leave. Okay, but I had to go early morning at around 4 at around 4 to the airport.
Okay.
So that night I was not able to sleep. My dad was not able to sleep. I think everyone in my family was awake. So,
but were you with family or you were sleeping in your room?
No, I was with my family. He was like, you sit here, man. You're not going anywhere. So I was just lying down with him. So I think that was the toughest time. If I talk about the emotional time, that was the toughest time. Everything else was really easy.
Now you said goodbye to your parents and family. Did you feel like कि नहीं जाता, यहीं रुक जाता हूँ?
हाँ भाई, वो तो अभी भी होता है. पहला हफ्ता तो it was tough. I was feeling homesick, jet lag था. मेरे को तो 15 दिन jet lag नहीं गया भाई.
15 days?
15 days. It took me 15 days to get over the jet lag. So I was not able to sleep the whole night. दिन में नींद नहीं आ रही, रात को नींद नहीं आ रही. क्या करूँ? The first week was very free because हम एक हफ्ता पहले आ गए थे. तो उसके एक वीक के बाद हमारी क्लासेस शुरू हो रही थी. तो फर्स्ट वीक वॉज रियली टफ. सेकेंड वीक में जब क्लासेस शुरू हो गई तो इट बिकेम बिट ईजियर बिकॉज आई वॉज गेटिंग इन टू अ रूटीन और मेरे पास टाइम कम था घर के बारे में सोचने के लिए. बट अगेन इट वॉज रियली टफ. आई वॉज मिसिंग देम अ लॉट. सो
एंड लाइक आई थिंक getting house early really helped us to get stable early, because otherwise it would have been so much more struggle because we would have landed and we had no place to stay. We have booked, because usually what I see is people book in Airbnb for like 15 days and then they figure out housing here. But other than that, I think the strategy which we did by figuring out house early, that worked out well for us.
What do you
think about that?
Yeah, I think I told you about this story, right? When I went to Pune for my DRDO internship.
Yeah.
DRDO internship, and my dad said, okay, I'll figure out your housing. I said, no, I want to do it by myself. Why are you figuring out everything for me? So I told him, okay, I'll just go and figure that out. He said, I'll figure it out. Don't worry. I'll call someone and you'll get a house to live. You'll get a place to live. I said, no, I'm going to figure it out. I was very stubborn at that point in time. I went there, booked a hotel for like 7 days, like what people usually do. I was searching for a house in each and every street I can think of. And I didn't find a house. I called my dad. I'm not able to find a house. कुछ करो, अब किसी को फ़ोन करो. He said, उस बंदे को मिल ले, उसने घर रोक के रखा हुआ है, जाके वहाँ रह ले. So वहाँ पे मैंने सीखा था कि यार आपको कहीं भी जाना है तो अंधे होके नहीं जाना है. You need to figure things out first. ज़्यादा अनसर्टेनिटी भी ज़िंदगी में अच्छी नहीं होती है. So मेरे को वो फिक्स था कि मेरे को घर बुक करके ही जाना है, बिना उसके मैं जाऊँगा भी नहीं. और मेरे डैड मेरे को आने भी नहीं देते, टू बी ऑनेस्ट. लाइक कि नहीं, पहले घर फिक्स करोगे तभी जाओगे, नहीं तो इसको पोस्टपोन कर देंगे कोई बात. Like he's that kind of person.
Hmm.
I think more than house, it was the people who I am living with right now. That was more important than finding a house. घर तो मैं यहाँ के भी ढूंढ लेता, पर अगर मेरे को ऐसे लोग नहीं मिलते तो यहाँ रहना मुश्किल होता. I don't know about what people think about us, but हमारे में जो close bonding है, even if we don't see each other the whole day, but if one of us is feeling down, I think everyone is there at the same point in time.
What do you suggest, like future whoever coming for MBAs or MS or whatever they are going, how should they figure out house? Should they figure out alone, or should they figure out with someone, or should they figure out what is your suggestion on that?
I won't suggest anyone figuring out a home alone, to be honest. मेरे हिसाब से 1 और 1 11 होते हैं यार. 1 और 1 2 नहीं, 1 और 1 11 होते हैं. तो if you are 2 people or 3 people searching for a house together, and if you resonate with each other,
I think living with Indians really helped us because culturally we understand each other,
yeah.
and coming from the same background we understand what kind of feelings you might feel here, because living with internationals I would prefer also to live for the first year with Indians. Second year, if you want to leave with someone else, you can do that.
You can do that.
But
here I have some different views and opinions.
Okay.
It is not about living with Indians. It is about living with people who can resonate, who you can resonate with. So if you think that okay, both of you guys work on the same page, you are already on the same table, I think you should go ahead and live together.
Because I think money also plays a role there, because housing costs money, so everyone should be on the same page, living at the same money, so everyone should be okay.
I think we were the best part about 5 of us was we were very clear from the day one what exactly we want, and what is our budget range, and everything was very transparent. That is what helped us a lot.
And I think in LA, in US, we are paying around $1,250, $1,200 each.
$1,300
per month. $1,300 per each month. Okay, and which includes Wi-Fi, parking, cleaning lady once a week, which is crazy. And do we have something else? Electricity,
we don't
water,
pay for utilities,
heaters, every utility is basically included, plus Wi-Fi and parking as well. So I think we got a phenomenal deal. Plus it's walking distance from USC.
So we have a USC bus stop right outside our house, man. What else do you want?
Yeah, so we checked all these things before figuring it out. Also, I would suggest there's a site called TripAlink, which provide all these facilities within your rent. So check that if you want.
So I think that was a great deal.
Yeah. So
the best deal was 5 of us coming together, and after that, the best deal was TripAlink.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so now you have come here, you've been a week. How was your orientation for you?
Orientation was overwhelming for me. People were saying, okay, we have done this, we have done that. Everything was like, okay, what did I do in my life? Yeah, I was feeling like, did I do something wrong in my whole life? But I realized everyone was feeling the same. It was just that they were portraying something that they have done, and everyone was feeling underconfident. I think people might be thinking about me in the same way, that okay, he has done so much, but I knew that I was feeling underconfident. And as I started talking to people, I came to know that everyone was on the same page. So with time, we got used to that, and I think it was fine. So orientation was, meeting new people was really a great thing. I met a lot of people from different nationalities, different cultures. Talking to them was nice. Everyone was very welcoming. But as I told you, I was going through the jet lag, I was going through the homesickness and everything. Orientation was not very welcoming for me. It was not that people were not welcoming, it was like I was going through a rough time.
And how tough was it for you to talk to people initially?
It was tough for me. For me, it takes time to gel in with people. I might show that okay, I gel in with people very easily, but to have a genuine connection with them and talk to them on regular basis, it takes me a lot of time. Because
I think USC has the lowest cohort of around 190 200 people, but still I remember the first day we came in for the international orientation, which is about I think only 110 people came, but still it was
a lot,
because you cannot know 110 people in a week. And after that, I remember we have a major the real orientation, I would say, where all the
people from US
domestic people from US as well as came, and we're 200 people now to talk to. So tell me about that feeling. Like how did you feel about whatever major difference you felt on these 2 weeks, and how did you figure that out?
I think it was very overwhelming, as I told you, right? So I was not able to talk to people. So usually I take time to start to gel in with people, right? I figure out what kind of people they are, and then I start speaking, because I am very cautious
Selective.
about. Yeah, I won't say I'm very selective. Yeah, I am selective, but I'm also very cautious about. I should not offend anyone. Yeah, so it took me some time to
There are
figure
no
out.
horns usually here, but I don't know.
I think someone is pissed off on someone. So I was a bit I was a bit selective, and I was refraining myself to say something. I was trying to hold me up for not saying anything wrong. So it took me time to gel in with people, and it was fine. But initially, as I told you, like, it was not about people were not welcoming. It was more of me that I was feeling homesick. I was jet lagged, so I was mentally somewhere else, not in the orientation.
Then how did you eventually figure out how to talk to people? How did you make it comfortable for you? Because I know it's not so easy.
I think I knew how to talk to people. It was not that I don't know how to talk to people, but it was just like I was not feeling good. I finally found peace with my own self. That's fine. I finally found the peace with my inner self, and I think once that was done, I was able to talk to a lot of people. So
I think that was your major problem, to getting like used to the place, getting used to without your family.
Yeah, because it was like 3 years. Like I lived in the hostel for like 8 years. After that, I came back during the COVID, right? So when from 2020 to 2023, it was 3 years of time when I was just staying with my family. I was not going anywhere. I was not doing anything else. I was working and staying with my family. So I was used to that thing. So it took me some time to come out of that.
So it's okay to feel like that, and you will feel
totally
like that.
Fine.
So
I think everyone feels that. If you're thinking that only you are the person who is feeling that, no man, you're not alone.
I think we remember talking about it as well, and that really helps, because just keeping it to yourself,
Makes you more sad.
Yeah, it makes you much more sad. So it's better to vent it out to someone, talk to people, be around. Okay, so now you have come here, orientation is over. How did you feel about the classes here? It's been like one semester is over for us. So give me your perspective, your review.
So classes here are really different than what I had in my undergrad. So in my undergrad, a person used to come, write, erase, go. Like if you have something, if you ask them out, they might get offended, right? So even if I had opinions, there were a few professors wherein I got a chance in my undergrad to discuss a few things, and I was able to give my opinion. But there were some professors, I don't want to name them, so whom I had a major conflict with because of the thing that I knew, and I was trying to clear my doubt whether I was doing something wrong or I was not able to get what exactly he was saying. So therein I got into a conflict, but it is not the case here. The classes are really interactive. I think that is what I wanted in my life. So at least the beauty about these classes is whenever I go to the class, I don't only go with the Indian perspective now. I don't only come out with the Indian perspective now. I have perspective from all the different places around the world, and people come from different backgrounds. Some are lawyers, some have worked in banking, some have worked in accounting, some have worked in NGOs, consumer products, advertising. So you get perspectives from each and every industry. So I think that's the beauty of the classes here, and I like that.
Also, like working on group projects, was it difficult for you? How was that for you? Because I remember that all of you were from different countries, and because here they put you in first to the course ABC, and then they put it in the groups. For example, in Korea there is about 10 groups, and then you are part of one group where 4 to 5 people are there. How was that for you?
I think my core group is really supportive. Like we have people. I am an engineer. We have a veteran. One has worked in accounting. One has worked on the business side, and the fifth one is has worked on advertising. So I think we have different perspectives. So everyone is very supportive. They come up with the different ideas. We all sit together, discuss about something. Our approach to work is come in, go out. That's it. Come in, give your ideas, discuss about it, move out. We don't spend extra time than that. So everyone understands everyone. Even if on the last minute we have to do some changes, no one says no to that. Everyone is very supportive. They understand where exactly you are coming from. So working on the core team was really easy for me because the people are really nice. And talking about how how did I feel working with them? It is always a new learning experience, because I get to know about different perspectives from different people.
And it's been right now 5 months. We came in July.
Yeah.
And it's January, technically, 27th December. So I think we are in the recruiting process right now. So I think that we'll discuss in part 2, not part 1. I don't want to go that way right now. So right now it was more about MBA and its journey. So anything you want to say like for past 4 or 5 months, what do you think? Was it worth it for you? One, according to your learning experiences, leave recruiting aside, rest all of it, like getting used to be yourself, because you have to do everything yourself here, getting with the classes, getting with people with different cultures around. How do you feel about roaming around here? A bit of that perspective.
So okay, I can start with the emotional roller coaster first, because that is what all the people go through and no one talks about it. So you will see a lot of ups and downs. You will regret your decision to come to US and study. Sometimes you might, because I do sometimes. But at the end of the day, it's worth it, because you learn every day. So even if you are going through the lowest time of your life, now you have seen the lowest time, now everything would be great in your life. This is what I think. So I think that's a great thing. If I talk about the international perspective, as I told you, that I love to go to the class and learn from different people, or I love to talk to people, because I get to know about how the market is working in their country, and what people think in their country, and what is their perspective on business, and how do they think about different products in their own culture or in their own place. So I think that's another learning that I get here. So that is what pulls me towards going to the classes and talking to different people. So the third thing, what was the third question that you asked? What
I think this was a question more about what do you feel like overall?
So, overall, if I leave recruiting aside, now I don't regret the decision of coming here. But if I if I talk about the recruiting, sometimes
we'll discuss in part 2.
Yeah, we'll discuss about it in part 2. Sometimes I do, but again, overall, it's
I think maybe right now we'll figure that out later.
Yeah, it's overall.
It's a journey, I would say.
Yeah, it's a journey. We have just started. So recruiting has we have just jumped into the recruiting cycle. So it's too early to comment about it. But at the end of the day, I think I am loving it. If I talk about roaming around in LA, I think I have got the best people here in MBA. So I've been lucky in that. I have been surrounded by the best people in this MBA. So I have roamed around in different parts of LA. I have explored LA a lot. I think so. So overall, exploring LA, learning something new, extending my stress-bearing capabilities. I have seen myself growing from the day one.
Yeah, like how to make food, how to get groceries.
Yeah, you get to learn to be independent, right?
Yeah.
How to bring your groceries, how do you manage everything? So I think that was also
managing
required.
this with your classes, with your papers, with your group assignments,
That's true.
with your recruiting. So I think it's been a fun ride, I would say.
It was a fun ride. Sometimes it's become overwhelming.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, it's worth it. It's worth it.
Okay. Also, last question now. Any suggestion you would say to someone who's coming for MBA, got an admission, everything, now that part is done? Do you think last 3 months he could prepare for something before coming?
Yeah, I would rather say that when I was talking to people here in US, they were only focusing upon, okay, spend some time with your family and enjoy your time there. I think that's not wrong.
That's important as well.
That's the most important thing. But for me, I think I need to do more than that. If I would have done more than that, I would have been in a better place than I am today.
What do you think? What more you could have done?
So, the first thing that I would suggest is spend some time with the family. The second thing is be mentally prepared for all the ups and downs you will be facing and feeling during this MBA journey. So that's the second thing. Third thing is try to be independent. Like start cooking, because I know it's very tough to eat the same thing every day. So even if you can, it's good. But if you can't, you need to learn cooking. You should learn the quick recipes and all that stuff, how to cook, or be a bit independent before coming here. Else it becomes more overwhelming than it can be. So do that. Apart from that, I think people should read about the various career opportunities that they can pursue in an MBA. They should start researching about if they want to do consulting, how does consulting works, which firms they can target on, which type of consulting they want to do. They can also work on their tell me about yourself. I think no one
I
tells
think
us
that's
that.
one of the biggest things I
Yeah.
would say to work for, because you have to introduce yourself to 200 people
200
here
people every day.
Every day. Plus, you have to introduce to all the firms, all the recruiters. So, I think that's one
That is
thing
a-
you should tell me about yourself for 3 things: 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90. All
90
three you should be ready about
That's
it.
true.
That's, I would say, that be prepared for before coming here.
Even if you're not prepared with the three different ones,
at least
but
one.
at least one.
At least
so,
one.
So you know what to say to people.
Because the first day you'll come here and you have to introduce
You
yourself.
have to introduce yourself.
For sure.
Apart from that, I think you should also be preparing for your behaviorals continuously, even if you are done with the interviews. Because I still remember once I was done with my interviews, I tore the sheet of my behavior and I threw it. I don't want this now. But I remember like which all stories I had. So it was.
But
not
that
like
helps.
something- But that helps. So I think you should be even if you are not preparing for that, at least think of the stories that you want to talk about in your interviews. So I think that will also work. So apart from that, I don't think there's anything else you should do.
I think
at
a
that
bit of
point in time.
understanding of where you want to go, because
Yeah.
I think that helps, because here you get overwhelmed with so many options that you feel like, okay,
Yeah, that is what I said, right?
Yeah.
You should think about what you want to pursue after MBA.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
That is what it is. So apart from that, I was very clear that I have a particular goal for my long term. So if you can figure that out, go ahead. You should figure that out.
Well, thanks for this. Thanks for putting out time.
Nice talking to you, man.
It was my first podcast, so I'm sorry if there have been hiccups or something like that, but we tried.
We tried, yeah.
And also, we are sitting right in front of Farita Hall. This is the Marshall's new building, like comparatively new building, but this is mostly for undergrads. We usually have Popovich Hall, which is for the masters. And I'll give you the tour soon, so subscribe to the channel, and we'll show you more guys from different backgrounds. So thanks for this. Thanks, Raghav. Thanks for
Thank you
coming.
so much, man.
I appreciate it.
It is always like your support that I am able to do everything. See you.
Thanks for watching the video till the end. Hope you learned something new. And if you want me to make some different kind of videos with my peers, I have a lot of peers in USC Marshall, very smart, intelligent people. So I love to make videos with them. You let me know what kind of videos you would like me to make. I would love to share that as well. And you can drop a comment there, or you can connect me on LinkedIn. So I've written my LinkedIn in the description, as well as Raghav LinkedIn will be in the description. So you can connect us there. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one.